Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And look at this mess. You are looking at images from Romulus, where a train derailed about 10 o'clock this morning. Thank you for joining us here on Local 4 News at noon. I'm Rhonda Walker.
And I'm Jason Coulthorpe. Right now, that train is blocking the aptly named Shook Road in Romulus. And if you take a look at the scene, it's north of I-94. We want to get right out to Sean Lay, who is there with a closer look. What do you know, Sean?
Let's give everyone a closer look. We're right next to this derailment. We've covered a lot of these, unfortunately. This one, rather significant. We're talking about 12 to 14 cars right here off the tracks, and this is a main line for CSX. You can see these cars tumbling, and tankers, into the brush and woods here, all stacked up over there. So a very significant derailment here, indeed, on the main line, which will be blocked now for a number of days, including some roads. You can see a little bit better from Sky 4. Let's go up there. This happened around 9:30, according to the CSX and the city of Romulus. And here's the deal. 10 to 14 cars are over now. You can see them from Sky 4 here. And this is Wick and Shook Road. Here's what's happening now. Of course, they're assessing the situation. I was told by Wayne County Emergency Management that nothing is leaking from those tankers that you see, and it's non-hazardous. He said not leaking yet because they're off the line, but it's non-hazardous material inside. There is a hazardous material team here for Romulus Fire to check that out, and Wayne County Emergency Management says no threat to the public. The latest here is that the city is saying we're working in cooperation with Romulus Community Schools. They are transferring students from Wick Elementary, that's nearby, and Romulus Middle School to Romulus High School. That's nearby, and that's all happening right now. This is precautionary measures only. Students will be released from school at normal normal time from school, dismissal time, and the normal transported home through their regular bus route. So some things happening here with the schools. Rail cars, they're blocking, as you can see, that's Wick Road near Tobine Road crossing. Police have closed off the road to avoid the area. And we also spoke with CSX. They don't know the cause right now because this just happened around 9:30. They're here. Here is the response here. So you've got CSX, you've got Rail Police, Wayne County Regional Response, which is hazmat #1 here, Romulus Fire, and Wayne County Emergency Management. That's that man right there. That is the latest. No threat to the public. Could there be a leak? Yes, but it's non-hazardous materials. We'll stay on this and watch the process here the rest of the afternoon, guys.
Yeah, I know it's preliminary, but that's certainly good news. All right, Sean, we'll see you again later today for sure. Yeah. The legal case in Flint has fallen apart, and it appears no one will be held legally responsible for the water crisis.
And as you can imagine, the developments has those who live there upset. Our consumer investigator and Hank is there, Hank Winchester. What are you hearing from the people that live in Flint?
Rhonda, as you can imagine, people are devastated. I mean, this is just another big blow and a big setback for the people in this community. Take a look at some video and I'll kind of talk you through it. We got up here this morning. We've been talking with the residents who've called this community home for many years, many surviving the water crisis, still dealing with the impact. I also just spoke a short time ago with Flint's former mayor, Karen Weaver. She was mayor and in the national spotlight at the height of the Flint water crisis. And she says not only are people angry about the lack of charges moving forward, but they also have lost their complete faith in government, as many lead service lines here in this community still need to be repaired or fully replaced. So as a result, as you can imagine, people also still not going back to drinking the water. They don't trust it. They don't think it's safe. We're going to stay up here in Flint talking with those directly impacted, not only regarding this legal case and how it's all completely fallen apart, but also about the future of Flint. What do people hope as they work to deal with this reality? We're going to have those stories and we'll share them with you today on Local 4 News starting at 5. For now, we're live here in downtown Flint. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Local 4.
All right, Hank, thank you. And speaking of water, help is on the way today for those in Harper Woods dealing with high lead levels in their drinking water. According to the city, 4 of 30 homes tested had actionable levels of lead. The city is continuing water testing and is handing out water filters today and tomorrow for concerned families. From 2 o'clock until 7 p.m., these handouts will occur at the Neighborhood Economic Development Coalition. It's located on Kelly Road. One mother tells us she's been taking precautions even before this alert.
We no longer drink the water from the faucet at all, so I go out and I buy water. How inconvenient is that?
It's very inconvenient because for me it's still a concern because I'm cooking sometimes with the water.
Harper Woods is continuing to replace lead service lines. They're advising people to flush their water for at least 30 seconds before using it. An important note, boiling water does not reduce the amount of lead.
We are getting word here over the last 90 minutes. Local Ford workers are more than happy with the deal struck between the UAW and the automaker. Voting closed at 6:30 a.m. this morning. Workers at the Wayne Assembly Plant, which was the first to go out on strike, have overwhelmingly approved it. Stellantis will be next. Its national council has sent on that tentative deal to union membership for a vote. Tonight at 7, UAW President Shawn Fain will share details of that agreement. GM workers are poised to be voting on their tentative deal as early as this weekend. Today, the public will be able to make comments about the final report on the Oxford High School shooting.
The public meeting comes as a former Oxford school board member is reacting to the release of the long-awaited final report. And that, of course, has been for nearly 2 years they've been waiting on this. Former board treasurer Corey Bailey is sharing his thoughts on accountability. He and former board president Tom Donnelly resigned last year over frustrations with how the shooting was being handled internally.
Every district needs to learn from this horrific lesson. Safety, threat assessments, and training can no longer be lost in the shuffle. It needs to be a constant and funded priority.
Next week, there will be a listening session for the community.
Former President Donald Trump is asking a federal judge to pause his D.C. criminal case as it moves toward a March trial. Trump trying to get the charges related to the 2020 election thrown out on the premise he is immune from prosecution for anything he did while president. Trump's defense team is trying to hold off his 2 federal criminal trials until after the 2024 November election. A Republican-led vote to remove New York Congressman George Santos from office has failed in the House. This comes after the congressman previously admitted to lying about his background and was indicted on federal fraud charges. Santos told reporters he doesn't see the results of this vote as a victory for him, but rather a victory for due process.
Being expelled from this body means that my voters are silenced. That is not true. That is not correct. That is not how we go about removing members from Congress. We do that by elections, by winning and losing elections. My colleagues in New York did this because it is political expedient for them. They have an election coming up. And the bottom line is I will continue to fight to defend myself. I will continue to serve the 3rd Congressional District of New York until the people choose to not have me.
Santos pleaded not guilty to superseding federal indictments Friday, and he is not scheduled to stand trial until September.
We have 2 Help Me Hank recall alerts for you this afternoon. Toyota is recalling nearly 2 million RAV4 compact SUVs. The automaker says that on Wednesday, over 1.8 million vehicles from the model years 2013 through 2018 may carry a fire risk caused by replacement batteries. Toyota said that it is working to remedy the issue at no cost to the owners. Those impacted by the recall will be notified in December. Also, thousands of baby bouncers sold at Walmart are being recalled. This recall is for the Costco Jump, Spin, and Play Activity Center. The maker says that the straps on bouncers could detach or break while your child is playing in it, potentially causing injury. Stop using it immediately. The recall involves 2 different model numbers, WA105FZW and WA105GML. If you have one of these, you should call the company and they will work you through how to go about getting a replacement.
Another recall to tell you about. A lot of people want last week's weather back. Recalling, but I'm being told get over it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. Ashley buried summer yesterday, so it's over now.
Yeah, summer rear view mirror. Fall is almost there too, and we've been bouncing into winter-like conditions, but we do have a little improvement in the forecast, and that already is here at this lunch hour. Still some nice color as we look at the downtown area. Detroit sitting at 42, Ann Arbor 41, Port Huron 45, and Adrian a degree shy of that at 44, with southwesterly winds that have picked picked up anywhere between about 10 to almost 20 miles per hour. And these are sustained winds, so they can gust upward of that. Adrian, the breeziest at about 18 miles per hour. And so our temperature change, given we have that southwesterly flow of air, about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. So any kind of improvement is always welcome when it comes to the temperatures. Wind chills are in the 30s. So even though we have a couple 40s on the board, we have the wind chill readings mainly in the mid 30s. Pontiac feeling like 33. Clouds and radar forecast showing that we had some flurries being picked up here as the clouds push in. But I want to put exact track 4D on because a lot of that is just frozen precip stuck up in the clouds, not at the surface. So we're dry but cloudy at this hour. Your weather story, 50s will be returning tomorrow, and then we will have some rain chances creeping in this weekend. And then, of course, we fall back with the clocks as well. We'll have more details on the timing of all that in just a few minutes.